I'll work out tomorrow. I'll start that project later. Making my meals for the week can wait. If you find yourself making the same excuses again and again for the things that you know need doing, this one simple tip can help you out tremendously. We've all done this 1,000 times. We've got that important thing that needs doing today, but maybe it can wait an hour or 2 hours, or maybe it can really be done tomorrow or even next week. And then suddenly your work project is due tomorrow, your exam is in the morning, we've just dusted off a dozen donuts while our gym bag is still buried in our closet, and we skipped out on our rehab exercises. Again, it is very easy to identify the important things that we need to do in order to better our lives. It's important that we take the steps necessary in order to prolong our life by being healthy and active. It's also important that we do the tasks necessary of us in order to financially support ourselves and our loved ones. So why isn't simply knowing this enough for us to do it? The irony is, once we do get started with a task that we know needs doing, we are usually able to enter a state of flow. A flow state is a feeling of full immersion within the activity we are doing. We are able to productively work on the task without even paying attention to the time that goes by. Because of this, within a flow state, we're usually able to get a lot of work done without feeling too fatigued until it ends. Examples of this would be something like runner's high, a productive day at the office, or getting into a good grind of study sessions. But it is not possible to reach a flow state if we never begin in the first place. Copy. Every single conscious and unconscious action within our body is a result of our nervous system taking action. Our nervous system is divided into two parts, consisting of the central nervous system, which includes the brain and the spinal cord, and the peripheral nervous system, which includes all of the spinal nerves coming off of the spinal cord to the targeted innervated muscles. In the case of conscious movement, say flexing one's arm, that movement is made possible by two communicating neurons branching from your brain down your spinal cord, out your spinal canal, and into the targeted muscle, in this case the bicep. These two neurons communicate via an electrical signal. In order for the first neuron to tell the second neuron, hey, you've got to work, it needs to overcome something called the threshold of activation. If you've taken organic chemistry, you could also refer to this as activation energy. Activation energy is the amount of energy required in order for the communication or chemical reaction, in the case of organic chemistry, to proceed. If you don't overcome the activation energy, there's no communication or no reaction. One strategy employed by organic chemists in order to make sure that a reaction does occur is to introduce something called a catalyst, which effectively lowers the activation energy and therefore makes it easier for the first thing to interact or cause the second thing. With the lowered threshold, it is therefore easier for the reaction to occur, and therefore also more likely. So how does this relate to doing the important things that we know we need to do but don't do? Knowing how to more readily cause reactions or action potentials, we can apply the same concept to habit formation by catalyzing our environment for future use. Let me elaborate on that one. If you've come to my clinic, it's very likely that you've received rehabilitative exercises towards whatever condition you are presenting with. Let's use McGill's Big Three here. There are 3 exercises that are excellent for core stabilization. If you want to know more about core stabilization, you can click that link in the top. That should have just appeared if I know how to properly do it when I'm uploading this video. Now, you know that in order to improve your condition, you must do these exercises at least twice daily. So why don't you? Now, your answer is very likely some derivative of you being very, very busy. And that is honestly super valid. We are all very, very busy. So the solution is to catalyze your environment to make it easier and therefore more likely for you to do your exercises. For instance, and this is very simple, you could have your yoga mat laid out on your living room floor before you even think about doing them. By priming the environment for future you lower the activation energy or the threshold of activation necessary to overcome in order to complete the task. No need to go find your yoga mat hidden somewhere in the closet. No need to clear off your living room floor to have space to roll it out. It's just there waiting. The only thing required of you in order to complete that activity is to simply do. And only needing to simply do is the absolute lowest that we can get our activation energy for tasks. It's easy enough to apply this to other situations aside from just rehab exercises as well. Do you need to study? With studying for 10 or more hours per day being the normal in my post-grad degree, I was pretty proficient in it. I would be certain to set up my laptop, notebooks, and pens all exactly how I needed them the night before I would actually start studying. In the morning, I could simply get my coffee, sit down, and start studying. I didn't have to gather everything everything, which in essence would have heightened the activation energy necessary in order to begin a long study session. Are you trying to hit the gym? Pack your gym bag way in advance and keep it in front of your front door. This way you don't need to stumble around looking for your stuff in the early morning, and you don't have to swing by home after work in order to pick it up. You can just go straight there and do. Or are you looking to eat healthier? Purchase all of the foods that you want to eat and prep them in containers. This way, when it comes to mealtime, you can simply go and eat. You don't need to think about it. All of those examples are simply lowering the activation energy until the only thing left is do. The possibilities are quite frankly endless. Identify the barriers that heighten the activation energy necessary in order to do your task and remove them systematically. Keep doing this until ideally the only thing remaining is do. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you have any tasks that you're looking to complete but having trouble getting started, I'd love to hear about them in the comments. Otherwise, a like and subscribe would be greatly appreciated. Click here for the most recent upload and click here for the previous one. Have yourselves great days.